Okay, we'll come to order at 5:02 PM. Let's do introductions.
Scott Morley, Select Board.
Dan Webster, Select Board.
Matt Maxwell, Town Administrator.
Israel Samuel, Planning Commission.
John Buchanan, resident.
Victoria Mead, resident.
Kara Kimmett, resident.
Scott Breyer, resident.
Norm Patino, Pike Industries.
We also have Kate Fletcher, Chris Roy, and somebody else. Any changes or additions to tonight's agenda? Good. Public comment?
Gonna be about anything?
Public comment can be about anything.
So the vote yesterday at town meeting. What, we missed the end of it, so what was the conclusion?
We screwed up. There should have been a second vote.
Up to 3 votes, and then the lowest candidate ranking should have been
He should have been, yeah, so
disqualified and
it should have
kept
just been
going.
a second vote just between Carrie and Scott. We
And
didn't-
all of everybody's combined years, we didn't know this rule.
Well, we did, but we messed up and now we gotta fix it.
So when do we vote, re-vote? When are we planning on doing the vote?
We're gonna warn it at the next regular select board meeting, so we're still waiting on some information on what we have to do this right. So once that happens, it'll be within the next 30 or 40 days.
And then it'll be reposted?
It'll be reposted and it'll be another, it has to be a special town meeting. So it'll be just like it was yesterday, except the only thing we'll do is vote between Carrie and Scott.
Do you want me to say my piece about the paving now, or can I wait?
You should probably wait, if you're gonna talk about paving, just wait till we get to that agenda, because that's, I mean, they can't really, in public comment, they can't really give you much, I mean, then once it's on, they can give you a little more information. Okay, so that brings us to number 4. Board reorganized. And that would be the first 2 things on your chart there, fellas. We need a select board chairperson and a select board vice chairperson.
So, it's been a long time since I've done this, Matt, so you want us to go down through individually?
Yeah, so you'll start at number 1.
Yeah,
That would be the board, number 1 and number 2 on that list will be the board reorganized portions of the agenda.
yeah,
And then the next ones, the next 3 through 10 will be the appointments. Which is
okay,
number 5 on our list, and then the last ones are noticings and postings. 11 through 15 is noticings and postings.
okay,
That's number 6 on our list.
okay, so it's a little unusual for just 2 of us, right? So you want a motion and a
Yep.
second?
Yep.
Okay, so are you running it until then? I mean, are you,
Yeah,
okay,
So obviously between the 2 of us, the chairperson and vice chairperson. Yeah.
no others to choose from.
So you should be the chairperson. I believe. But making a motion, I'll make a motion for Scott Molly to be chairperson. Select board chairperson.
Well, second,
all in favor of Scott Morley as select board chairperson, please say aye.
aye.
Okay.
I'll motion for Dan Webster to be the select board vice chairperson.
Second.
All in favor of Dan as vice chairperson.
Aye.
Very good. So now we will move down to Number 5 on the agenda list, which is appointments, and that is numbers 3 through 10 on your reorganization chart. And here is who currently holds those positions. For the 2 vacant fence viewer spots, I recommend Richard Farrar and Evan, what's that guy, what's your guy's name, Dan? Evan?
Devin Van Bachler.
Yes, him.
Devin, Devin.
Yeah.
Last name.
Van Bachler, just like it sounds, VANBOCK.
Or say Van Bogler. I'll do that.
I think it's AR.
Okay. All right.
Well, whatever, we can,
So those are people that we've had some communications with and they've expressed some interest in that. So they're not seeing it totally blind.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Okay, so getting right along with it. Town treasurer. There's been, I'm gonna say a little piece here that, because it's appropriate, there's been some rough patches recently with the treasurer and the board. Most of that probably because of me. David Barlow's a good treasurer. He's an honest person who works hard. He's done a lot of good things for our town. We've had to make some adjustments, or we've found it necessary to make some adjustments in our financing piece in the last number of months. Change isn't always easy. And David is an appointed official, so we can certainly change that when we want to. I think that would be a poor decision. I think we need to work through it. I think we need to utilize the experience that he has and that he brings to us. And we can do that. It will take some work and we do have some issues that we need to work through, but I think for now, I would like to keep David in there. I don't know.
yeah, that's,
You're
good.
You're good with that. So you want the nomination piece on all of these, Matt?
Yep, please.
So I would nominate David Barlow for the town treasurer.
second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Very good.
Okay,
Going by this.
so emergency management director, Phil, he still wants to do that.
Mhm.
Huge job. So that's. I'd nominate Phil Marquette for the emergency management director.
Second.
All in favor of Phil as emergency management director?
Aye.
Aye.
Accordingly, I would nominate Phil Marquette for the 911 coordinator.
Second.
All in favor of Phil as the town 911 coordinator?
Aye.
Aye.
This is sort of, you have any issues here? I don't
No,
with any of
No.
these, the way that they've been presented here,
no,
all sensible.
Yeah.
What we're expecting, so let's just zip right through them then if there's no real comments on them. I would nominate 3 fence viewers, Israel Sandville, Richard Farrar, and Devin Van Bachler.
second.
Devin Van Bachler, just how it's spelled.
Yeah, sounds.
All in favor of Israel Sandville, Richard Farrar, and Devin Van Bachler as town fence viewers?
Aye.
I'd nominate Donald Grondin for fire warden.
Second.
All in favor of Donald Grondin as fire warden? please say aye.
Aye.
I'll nominate Donald Grondin for health officer.
Second.
All in favor of Donald Rondon as health officer?
Aye.
John, you still want to be tree guy?
I don't know how I lost it.
Matt took it from there, I think. I'll nominate John Buchanan for tree warden.
Second.
All in favor of John Buchanan as tree warden, please say aye.
Aye.
Very good. You're back, John.
Nice.
Zoning administrator. Oh, that's the last one, yeah.
Yep.
I'll nominate Matthew Maxwell for zoning administrator.
Second.
All in favor of Matt Maxwell, the zoning administrator?
Aye.
Very good.
What did you have for Devon?
What's that?
You had another position for Devon?
Yes, he'll have to talk to Phil about that. Phil's might want him as helping out as a coordinator for emergency.
Okay.
That's something the emergency management director actually
Phil
takes care of
does
for you.
that himself. That's not something.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is our postings and noticing. So, last year, we used the record as our paper of note. You guys can change that if you'd like.
The Caledonia record.
Yeah,
you mean?
or, yeah, get one, yeah, Caledonia record. Yep.
So I actually have noticed that they're different though, right?
Yeah,
They're the same but different. Help me out here, everybody. Orleans record and Caledonia record.
I don't know, maybe, I don't know if they do the Orleans.
I don't know of an Orleans record, just a Caledonia.
They're not doing that anymore.
Might just be the Caledonia.
So it's just the
now, but,
Newport
Yeah,
and the Caledonia.
yeah.
Um,
You guys voted.
what's the experience on that? Briar, what's the experience on that? Why were we with Caledonia and not Newport, for example? I don't know.
Because they were cheaper.
Cost.
Yep.
Cost. Maybe Chris could sharpen his pencil.
Okay, so
It was cost.
Yeah.
it's just cost.
Cost.
It's not quality of one or the other. It's just they're equal and we decided to go with money.
Yeah.
Any reason for us, Matt, to change?
I don't see.
Okay, so I would motion for the town to have the Caledonia Record as its newspaper.
Second.
All in favor of the Caledonia Record as the newspaper of note, please say aye.
Can I make can I make a comment before you vote?
Sure, well, they already voted, but you can still make a comment.
Well, yeah, you haven't had a second yet, but why can't you have two newspapers? We are the paper of Orleans County, the daily paper of Orleans County, Mr. Chair.
That's true.
I'm sorry, can I add to that?
Yeah,
Living in Orleans County, you're more apt to buy a Newport paper than buy a Caledonia paper, because that's not our county. I don't care what goes on in St. Joe. I'd much rather know what goes on in Newport News.
that's what I was asking about the Orleans Record because it's sort of doing it all now, right? The Caledonia.
Yeah, they don't, yeah, Scott, they don't do, the Orleans County Record, anymore.
Okay,
They also don't drive to.
so we can. I guess I'm maybe not quite educated enough on that. We've made a decision, so we're gonna do it. We can change it.
Change it anytime you want.
We can change that. So why don't we've just made a decision, we voted on it, leave the vote alone. And we'll do a little bit of research and see if we wanna change that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, posting sites, currently they are this building, post office, Royers, and Casellas. Where we physically post.
So I'm gonna have to say all of us.
You need to, and also, and the web, and our website, so everything goes on the website now too, so there's just technically 5.
Casella website, Royers, Coventry Center, and what?
Post office.
Post office. I would motion the town maintain the current 5 posting places for its business, which are Casella's, the town website, Royers Mini Mart, Community Center, and the post office.
Second.
All in favor of using the same 5 posting spots, please say aye.
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 Okay, meeting dates. Currently, we are the first and third Monday of each month at 5 p.m. Actually, meeting times is another one, so we're currently with the first and third Monday of each month.
I'm okay with it.
Yep.
Matter to me. So, and it's at 5.
Yep.
Uh,
Well, that's
Well, that'd be the
meeting
next one.
times, you could change it. That's another one coming up.
Okay, so I would, motion to maintain the current first and third Mondays of each month for the select board meeting.
Second.
All in favor of having the first and third Monday of each month for our regular select board meeting?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting location, currently it is the Coventry Community Center meeting room.
I would motion to maintain the community center meeting room as the place of business.
Second.
All in favor of having the community center meeting room as the place where the select board will hold their regular meetings, please say aye.
Aye.
And then meeting times, currently it is 5 p.m. Start.
A motion to maintain the select board meeting times for 5 p.m. start.
Second.
All in favor of meeting times commencing at 5 p.m. for select board meetings, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. He's putting it right to us, isn't he? Yeah, get through it.
Okay, town paving, 2024.
You have that, Matt. They're both there. Do you have them both?
I do.
So we've been talking about this for a while now, and I know that the paving companies have been growing impatient with us to make a decision on this. I think I've gotten to the point where, we are down to price. I don't think we were going into quality, right?
Nope.
We're thinking we've got 2.
They're both great companies and they both do a great job.
Yeah, that's where we're sort of at, and so the price is significant. Do you have the number in front of you, what the difference was?
Totals at the bottom of that page,
The difference.
not the difference, but the total of their total and then the total.
So the price we received from Jay Hutchins was $856,721.25. The bid we got from Pike Industries was $919,590.60. So,
May I ask a question?
sure.
What was the total tons on that?
On Hutchins,
Hutchins and Hicks? Just to see if we're bidding apples to apples.
so we got.
So-
Stop that.
Yeah, it was 80 tons and no $2,000 allowance for flaggers. So they're about 50,000 cheaper. After you back that stuff out.
So what I'm getting at is, in the future, I would highly recommend there's an RFP for that. Okay, so that the contract is bid apples to apples, meaning that one or two contractors, or even the state can give you an RFP to use or to reference, so that contractors bid apples to apples, so there's no 80 tons difference. And the reason why I say that is that I had some additional tons in areas where I know they didn't, like Hamlet Road. You know, that small approach here, I know that their tons weren't in there. Yes, that only made a difference of 25 tons, but that's just one example.
Yep.
And, you know, I have helped towns create one with some of my language to add, but they would go ahead and put their own language in here. I'm not saying that, you know, it should follow one.
Right.
Add your own language in. It really helps everybody understand. If it's 10,000 tons, it's 10,000 tons and it's a price per ton. If that's what the town chooses to use as the, you know, the driving factor.
Yep.
Is to use that.
That's a good idea. I think we'll probably take that advice, for
Huge.
projects that are this large. You know, looking at these, I'm reminded too, that you wouldn't, I don't think you'd have received it anyway if you were just looking at money, right? Because of the price per ton.
Right, and that's what typically drives this whole thing, you know, between, you know, when there's a bid, it is the price per ton.
Yeah, so the price per ton was fairly significant. They were 78.75 and you're 82.68. So,
So, with that being said, you know, some of the, you know, the things that are provided by the contractor, you know, is there any, you know, price adjustment, meaning, you know, is this a fixed price by the contractor, which
it is.
it is,
Yep.
okay?
Yep.
And then the other thing is that, you know, to make sure that, both contractors use the same process.
Right,
You know, whether it's the grading part of it, whether
Right.
it's shouldering part.
yeah. I think that's great feedback. I've done that. I used to do that quite a bit in the state and I get it. So I think, you know, for clarity's sake and for apples to apples and, you know, have a pre-bid or pre-construction meeting with anybody who's interested and go right through it. Yeah. So with that said, Norm.
Yep.
You good?
I'm good.
I still want to say one piece, so.
Oh, okay.
I think that this town is looking for these long-term investments. And most of the paving, I'm okay with it, but lane road's a hard pill for me to swallow. I think that, the road's not, as being a former road foreman, current employee and town resident, that knowing the road, I say, yeah, the end of the houses, you could pave that. And the road would probably be all right, and keep the dust down. Well, you got 10,000 yards of crushed gravel sitting up on Hancock Hill, less than a quarter mile away, that's right there to keep that road maintained for the next however long. And then you have over here, Piet Road, you're gonna go pave the Glen, but we're not gonna pave Piet Road. So now I gotta drive a sand truck all the way from the station to go do that little third of a mile. I can't understand how we're skipping that when you're right there at the Glen. That makes no sense, how the time wasted when you're right there, where you could move some things around and make a little bit more sense. Cause
Well,
I know I'm a little late on this, but
Yep.
you guys need to really think about the long term. And the wear and tear, you're freezing rain out, you're gonna drive that truck with chains from the station all the way down that tire. To go do that little third of a mile and turn around and come back. It wasn't thought out correctly, and I had already talked to the board about this. Before I left. And I think what you're gonna do down the river, well, that's great. Because that's such a pain, but as far as lane, what do you get, 50 cars on that thing a day? It just doesn't see the long, I don't see the long term, you're preaching, long term, well. I tell you what, that tire is nothing but a headache. For the guys maintaining it, especially when there's a pile of gravel right there. You come out with me in the winter, you fight that lane road with wind blowing across it. So I just think the board needs to just look at it as the whole, what really is happening, or what the long term is gonna be of this decision you're making.
So. It's overwhelmingly obvious to me that the town wants tar.
I know, which I think is a poor investment for the future.
I take that. I hear it.
And you're the one saying that this town needs to think long term for my kids,
So,
and that is not helping me.
so
But prior to coming back, there's no one who could run a grader. You know what I mean? The town has to look at the people and who are qualified to run a
Then
grader.
hire somebody that can run the grader.
It's not that easy. It's not that easy to find someone to run a grader.
So one of the things that we did and why we caused Norm pain and the other contractor pain in the delay was because we took it to town meeting. And it was an opportunity for this discussion you're having right now to have that yesterday, to hear from all the town residents
Right.
and to associate that with the overall cost. Now, the plan of it, the implementation of tarring all the majority of the probably class 3s and 2s, I get it. That can't fix this today, but it certainly can channel next year and future paving projects that the town crew, you included hopefully, who should be part of creating that plan. Because
I just wanna add one thing to that, but after that article was voted down, you yourself said that I can do it anyway. So that's why I'm here tonight, because after you said that yesterday, I need to come to you, because you're gonna do it anyway, is what you told us as the voters yesterday.
what was the outcome of that?
You have extra money, you could get a bid on Piet Road and.
Yeah, well, but I just heard that in a confusing way. The vote was to appropriate that money.
Right, but. you-
And so now you've gotten these specific contracts, right? With what it is. Now we could potentially go beyond it. I'm not gonna do that tonight.
No, but I think you need to look at the long term of the whole. That tire, yeah, it looks great, but. We need to really focus on the long term and get the roads up to, you really want a tire to last, you gotta do it right.
I agree.
Instead of just going ahead and just tiring everything, cause we have the money, it's hard for it for me to swallow, when I could be investing that for so my kids don't have to pay taxes down the road. But that's all I gotta say.
I get it. Point noted.
$888,000 is a lot of money to be dumping into tire. That's a good nest egg to start your long term. So just beware and be cautious about how you're spending my child's future.
So as far as what we did at town meeting, does that mean we have to do this?
No,
I'm not saying we should or shouldn't, that was,
so the way the town meeting was presented in the articles. Was I lose track of what the numbers were, but I think it was 5 was the biggie. Which was looking at potentially removing the special funds. So that was the first conversation for us all to have, so that depending upon the outcome of that, those others became more relevant or less relevant on how that worked and where the money would come from.
Yeah.
I believe that the town appropriated 600,000 to go into paving
Right.
in addition to the 550,000 the town.
In addition to what's there now.
So there's a 1.2 million dollars in the paving road infrastructure budget.
Yeah.
Whether it's
Yeah.
paving or not paving or whatever.
Yeah. So there's no way we get there tonight. We have,
You don't have to vote for that. You can hold off.
I'm going to vote on that though. So we can, if we're talking about adding a road for some of the mechanical reasons and this and that, we can do that at any time and add on because there are funds put aside for that purpose.
Couldn't you subtract too?
These are the quotes that are in front of you right here.
Right. But no one says you have to accept that whole quote.
Norm, how's that working for you?
Good. Protect them both.
Yeah,
That amount of money would,
you know, those,
You could ask Hutchins if they would honor the state bid, and if they're the ones that the town chooses tonight, they'd honor the same price if you held off on one road.
I mean, I'm not trying to stop you. I'm just trying to tell you to think about the long term.
okay,
Because culverts haven't been changed on the lane or nothing. Hey, let's go pave it. And then let's cut it up 5 years from now just because we didn't change them pipes. It's kind of counterproductive. I mean, you went out and changed all the pipes on the Glen besides one, they missed one on the end and you're gonna pave over that one. So you're putting the cart in front of the horse.
I believe you were gonna ask the road crew to check, right, Matt? You were gonna ask the road crew to check and change the culverts that need to be done for the paving. That was the plan. That was definitely the plan.
Yeah, I think they bought a bunch of culverts for it.
It was the plan.
If you can't change the culverts this spring and think you're gonna go pave it this summer, then culverts are gonna settle right out and you're gonna have them bumps there forever.
Norm,
That's not the case.
right,
Depending on how.
You gotta
it's
do it
done.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's not done right, then we'll be there forever.
That's,
In the top coat, you could take out the
Right.
loop bump.
so, right, that was the other point I was gonna make, is that you do the base coat 1 year, let it set for a year, then we do top coat.
which is what we're doing.
Shit, it's hard for me to swallow, that's all.
Okay,
It. Personally. The paved roads. I almost hate them, but. It goes back to the town. I feel like so many people in the town want the paved roads. That I can't say don't pave any roads because I hate them.
that's sort of a big part of why we made an article on it. Right, so
Yeah,
that we can hear the town telling us and providing us some instruction on how to spend or conduct our business. So not only did they approve that article, they added money.
yeah,
Retiring. That's the answer. That's what the town wants. So we need to do it as smart as we can, John. We need to craft the best plan we can going forward to identify priorities of roads to do within the budgets that were provided to do that. We need to work with Norm and we need to work with Hutchins, who are the two we're very fortunate to have as our neighbors. And that's what we're gonna do. So the road crew is gonna be a huge part of it. We're all gonna meet. We're gonna give you instruction to get it done, to make it professional, the best that you can, and work with probably Hutchins in this case. Not there yet, but, and that's what we're gonna do. And then not probably, but I would be begging you as a group of highway professionals to be coming in and talking to us about the following year's plan. What you see, what you need, what you think, all of what you just
You
said.
know what I think, I've told you this before though, about the lane. and you told me we're just gonna pave the whole thing.
Well,
We've
because
had this discussion.
That's what was on the, that was what
I
was
know
on
this was
the,
one before I left, and we've
Yeah.
had this discussion, there's always said, we had marked it out, the lane, to pave that one half, which I have no problem with, where the houses are. Cause that gets dusty, but the rest of it, from Andy Andrews Farm, from where, on top of that knoll, you have one house. And the rest is just nothing but fields and gravel pit to the end. What's the point? I could see paving by the houses, sure, but to have them tractors run up and down the tire, that's the only thing on that road. It just doesn't make sense through the woods there, come on. Work with me here. I think you should rebid it.
well, we're not.
I know, but I just think long-term, that's not benefiting the town whatsoever. And those people that live on the road all go out the other end. Just go right out, then people, they're all right there on the end. Just just consider it. That's all I have.
Okay,
I'm done.
I'm ready.
You
You
understand,
ready?
bro? God.
I mean, it's not like we have a tie-breaking vote here,
No,
so.
yeah, no, I'm good.
So, the biggest thing that I'm hearing is, well, I'm hearing a very strong opinion that's not shared by the majority of the voters, right? And which is fine, that's great. The part that I'm trying to pay most attention to is the preparation of this work. The fact that we've got the culverts in place and all of the grading and the proper surfacing and all that stuff, we need to make sure we have done with these guys. And also, as we begin planning, which we will do this summer, I'm sure, Matt, right, for the following year, that we have probably a better, open, eloquent conversation around which roads. And we're gonna probably do the same thing with town meeting next year, and we'll present that. And we'll see where folks are, and everybody can voice their opinions one way or the other and have a vote. And so.
Can I
that's-
add something?
Yep,
Now, I've done this for towns, and I'm not saying use Pike, use Hutchins. You do a 5-year plan,
do a 5-year what?
5-year plan,
Okay, yep,
on treatment.
Mhm.
And it's worked out for some towns so that they can properly appropriate the funding for the following year.
Right.
So what they do is we'll put a plan together, give you what we call a budget. That's not a hard number, but it gives you a general idea of what the cost today would be, and next year maybe 10% higher, I don't know. But at least you have some idea of, what looking forward, what you're gonna do, one, two, the cost somewhere near, So that, and then that, again, could be shared by, the select board at the town meeting.
Right.
To share some of that information there, we're gonna resurface this road this year. Next year, we're doing base on this road,
right,
just a thought.
it's a good one.
Hey, Scott,
Somebody said something.
It's Deb.
it's Deb. Can you hear me?
Yep,
Question, do you think it would be beneficial that, technically, we really start working on the budget in the late fall, that maybe we should group or have a meeting with the residents, like say come July, August? Only because, yes, there's people who go to town meeting, but not everybody can attend town meeting on that day to be able to voice their vote. Where if we hold a meeting during the week one night, or maybe like on a Saturday morning before the budgeting process starts, then you would maybe be able to get a better input from everyone. Or who at least attends, just a thought, if that would be beneficial.
so, Matt's whispering in my ear
Okay,
that we have select board meetings twice a week, twice a month.
I know,
And we have agendas for those, and we go through all of the process, and these items
And
were,
paving's been on the agenda
we
many times.
we have had this discussion with anybody who wanted to participate at least I don't know, I hate to say a number, but I was exhausted from it. So I hear it all, but you know, Matt's saying what I'm thinking.
Okay,
So I hear you. People need to, if, you know, if anybody's interested in a certain thing, they gotta come here and they gotta tell us about it. That's just the way it is. So I'm going to motion that the town accept and approve J. Hutchins Inc. paving contract for this year's paving projects to the total bid price of $856,721.25.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Right.
Right.
Alright. Okay, adjourn us.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Good, we are adjourned at 5:43. Yeah, thanks, everybody.
Fastest meeting ever.
There you